Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Negulescu. You know me for a lot of automation with UiPath. Today we'll talk about date and how we are able to generate interval of date. It looks an easy stuff, an easy thing, but let's understand the request and let's understand how we approach this request, because you can approach it with mathematical stuff and you'll see that will be a little bit complicated. Or you can approach it with some activities from your iPad that will be nice. So the idea is like this. For example, I have a request I have a list of invoices, for example, and I need to group these invoices in quarters. But quarters on the companies, they are different. They are not from January to March and so on. So basically, I need 3 days on a row, or 3 months on a row. So let's say that I will have the start date. Let's check here on the workflow. I will have a start date like November. So I will have a start date like this, like 5 of November, and I need 3 months on a row. So I need to split the invoices on 3 files. That will first will be for November, the second will be for December, and third will be for January. And me as a robot, I know only the starting date. It's 5 November, yeah. And I have to identify this stuff. Let's run it, and you will see the results to understand better what I'm talking. And then we'll see the 2 approaches, because I create a logical approach with all mathematics and so on for the date. I create an approach using some UiPath activities that will help me do this stuff. It looks like an easy stuff, but if you put all the condition, it's not an easy stuff on the beginning. So he identified that where in November, and if I put 3 months, will be means November, December, and January. So for November, he extracts the date from November. For January, we have these 2 dates for January. And for December, I think I have only 1 date. Okay. So I do this on the logic of UiPath. I don't do this on the logic of Excel and so on with filters and so on. I just think as a robot with data table. You see here that I use CSVs and so on. Yeah. So let's understand what is the approach, the raw approach. The raw approach using mathematics and Visual Studio commands, it's like this. So I read the CSV. Then I clone the data tables to have 3 data tables for each 3 months. Yeah. And I make a clone. Then I will do a for each on the data table. And then I have to identify on the month the max day of the month. So here, Visual Basic.NET has a function, max days in month. Yeah. And you have to provide him the year and the month. Because in November you have 30, in December you have 31, in January you have 31, in February you have 28 or 29, depends on the year, yeah? So you need to see this stuff. So you have max day on the night, then you will define a file. In my case, I define the file that I will save. I will say month name. So basically I will convert 01 to Jan. Or here it's true if I want only 3 characters, yeah? If I want Jan, Feb, Oct, Dec, Nov, and so on. If I want November, December, and so on, I don't put this true. So I'll create a name of the file with invoice from Nov year 2022 CSV. And then I put a condition. And I put a condition. And in this condition, I put so my date that is on, so I have to convert it. It's row 0, and I have to convert it from the CSV, and I convert it to time and date. And I say new date from the start year, start month 1, and until the greater that equal end of the year, month, and max day. Yeah. So I have 34 November, 31 for December, and 31 for January. Yeah. So with this max day, I'm able to know the maximum day of the month. And then I would say add row, and this I will take array and put in the data table. So this is the way how I will generate stuff for the first month. For the second month, I have to put some condition. And the condition is like this. If I add another mount to the current mount, I'm less than 12, because if I'm not less than 12, I have to increment also the year. So if I add another mount to the current mount, I will save that mount plus 1 and the year will remain the same. If it's higher, that the mount will be, instead of 13, will be 1. And the year is this plus 1. That's the mathematics, yeah? And then I do the same stuff. I create the maximum day for that for the new mount, and so on, yeah. So this part is repeat, yeah. So I create the maximum days for the year from the mount. I create the file. I name the file. I put the condition to be between these two dates and write the file. And for the third one, again, I will add the plus 1 and so on. And in the end, I write the files. Okay. So this is the logic using mathematics and VB.NET. And you saw the result. So basically, for this year that I have it hard-coded here, I have an in the variables, I have here start date, which will be this one. I have that result, yeah? And I run it again. And let's see another approach using some new activities from UiPath. New for me, maybe it's for 1 year inside there. So you see, I have the invoices from November, for December, and from January. And let's see the approach with this activity. Good. So here, it's the same stuff, but using this activity. If you write date, you will see that my colleagues put here an modified date activity. So inside of date, you have modified date activity. And with this modified date activity, you will see what you can do. So let's present the modified date activity. Basically, you put a date, let's say in our case, it's start date. And then you have this one. Find next, find previous week, add mount, subtract period, find start and end of the start and end of the week or the month of the year. This is very nice. So basically, he provides you the start day of the week, of the month, or of the year. In our case, because we work with mounts, important is the last and not the start, because the start it's a little easy to guess. Yeah, so this is a very nice activity that provides this stuff. So let's understand how we use this stuff with modified date. So I declare here, I have the start date. I have, again, 3 data tables for the files, 3 file names, and start 1 and 1, start 2 and 2, start 3 and 3 for all the intervals. So basically, using this modified date, say start date, the date that I provide get first, and I will say first date of the month. So I will select first date of the month, and it will be start 1. Then I will select that I want the last day of the month, and it will be end 2 and 1. So I have start 1 and end 1 for the first period. Then again, from the here, from the start date, add 1 month, because I have to add 1 month. He will be able to know that if I go on the next year, he will know that go on the next year. I don't need to manage that stuff with changing the year. So I add a month to the to my start date, and I will get the first day of the month and the end day of the month. And on the last one, I will add 2 months. Yeah. So from the day that I have, that in my case is 5 November, I will add 2 months. He knows that I'll go to 2013, and I will have the start date and the end date. Yeah. And then I will do a simple for each, where I say here, if my my data is between start 1 and end 1 is the first period, then you'll write it on the first data table. If it's between start 2 and 2, you will write it on the third data table, and if it's between start 3 and end 3, I'll write it on third data table. Yeah. So in this way, and then I write the files to the hard disk. Let's see that I don't have data there, and let's write this part of the run this part of the workflow. and let's see the result. So this is the result for November, December, and January. So January and December, yeah. In December, I have only one invoice. So I remember this stuff because I find this one very nice. So remember to use this modified date activity. Very nice stuff to be able to work with dates. And if it's a really hard stuff, you can go back to visualbasic.net and write code on the visualbasic.net thing. But for a lot of things, this modify activity solve a lot of use case with all this stuff, and you are able also to test to test the modification and so on. So this is very nice with the subtract period, with all this stuff. So very good job for my colleagues to add this activity to the system. As usual, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and comment my videos to tell me what else you want to see inside of my videos. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Have a good one. Bye bye.